What's up, YouTube? How's it going? So I really wasn't planning on doing this, right? That this wasn't like, as you can see, right? I really wasn't. There's been a couple of videos that I've seen that I've come across, I've stumbled across that I kind of wanted to react to, and I was holding off. I didn't want to do it because I don't want to go down that. I keep trying to avoid going down that road. Here, let me make this a little bit smaller, actually, because the thing is this is a little big, and my head keeps bumping into it. There we go. So I keep trying to avoid this, right? Because I don't want to be looked at as like a one-trick pony, right? It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about, but oh my god, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I just started watching it. I watched about maybe like half of it, I think, and I got to vent. And put my thoughts out there, like I just do. So yeah, this is actually, let me make sure that I have the audio in here because I have to add the audio for browser source. Hold on a second. But there are things that are said in here that just don't make sense to me, right? They don't make any sense. Let me make sure that this works. Hold on a second.
Because today,
yeah, there it is. Okay, they just don't make sense, like in the way that it's supposed to. You know what I mean? Like with what she's saying. It's so judgmental. Anyway, let's get into it because she's talking about Kat Von D, right? And Kat Von D becoming a Christian, which, you know, I was kind of shocked when that went down, but it's like, all right, you know, to each their own, right? I don't really give a shit, you know. But yeah, here we go. Let's listen, okay?
we're going to talk about Kat Von D. We're going to talk about her, and it's a special treat for you guys in the membership because this is a juicy one. This is a doozy, and there's a lot of stuff to cover in this video. So Kat Von D is a well-respected TV personality and famous tattoo artist with millions of followers on her social media. Kat recently came out as a Christian with footage showing her getting baptized and renouncing witchcraft and the occult entirely. But did she really though? No, the bitch did not. I'm gonna just tell.
And we're gonna find out why Melinda thinks that she didn't actually renounce shit. This is going back to like 80s, 90s, early 2000s mental state about fashion. This is completely fashion based. This is fashion based hatred is what this is.
Tell you straight up, she definitely did not renounce witchcraft, and there's a lot of reasons for why I say this, and in fact I find it really laughable that people actually believe this hoo-ha. I think it's silly. As a disclaimer, that this is just my opinion through observation of Kat Von D's posts and her opinions and her spiritual change in her life.
See, I love the thing that really gets my goat with these types of videos that she does is the immediate hypocritical statements that just flow like a river. I'm not judgmental. I'm not judging. And then immediately proceeds to be judgmental and pass judgment. This is just my opinion and my observations, and immediately begins to state everything 100% as if it were fact. That there's no equivocation, no way that she could possibly be wrong. In classic Melinda styling. I swear that this woman will never learn. Will never learn.
Believe it or not, I do respect her choice to leave the occult and to leave witchcraft. I think that's fine.
I respect her choice to leave the occult and leave witchcraft, but I don't think she left it. So which is it? Do you respect that she did it and therefore believe that she did do it? Or do you not believe that she did it? In which case you don't respect it because then you believe it's something that she didn't actually do.
If she wants to live her life as a Christian, more power to you, Chica. I am all about that, but be real about it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Personally, I feel like Kat Von D is a pretty cool chick. I think she's pretty down to earth. I like her personality, but at the same
I think she's really cool. I think she's a cool person. I think she's down to earth, but I'm going to completely try to rip her apart in this video.
time, she's fake as shit. And the biggest reason why I say that is because
Cool person, down to earth, but fake as shit. How can one person be so obliviously hypocritical on such a consistent level? Like, how is this even fucking possible?
there's a lot of things about her when you really analyze her social media and you really look at the things that she posts and the things that she says versus the things that she posts, it's pretty obvious that she's contradicting herself consistently.
Let's just keep going.
We're going to get right into it. So on July 21st, Kat posts on her occult books and tarot cards and expresses how she's moving on from them by saying, "At this point, I just had to ask myself, what is my relationship with this content and what the truth is. I just don't want to invite any of these things into our family's lives, even if it comes disguised in beautiful covers collecting dust on my shelves." She got rid of all of her books on magic, tarot, and even books from Aleister Crowley. She emphasizes the fact that she feels like these are things that she no longer wants to identify with. She doesn't feel like she is in alignment with these types of items and this path. Okay, I can respect that. I can understand that. But when you say that you don't align yourself with the occult anymore, but then you continue to dress up like a vampire and you
And there it is. And there it is. 100% of Melinda's opinion, based on of what she's saying, is based off of how this person is dressing. She did a video about Tom McDonald not that long ago. I'm a fan of Tom McDonald, and his music. I do like Tom McDonald. And she did the same thing. The same thing. And I'll do a video on that one too. Like, I avoided it, but with this one, I'm just like, I'm beginning to notice a pattern. And why this really irritates the fucking shit out of me is because being a goth, right, doesn't mean that you're a witch, doesn't mean that you're a Satanist. You can be a Christian and still be goth. You can still have appreciation, for darker music and darker fashion and, Gothic architecture. Because guess what, Melinda? Gothic architecture is a Christian thing. You idiot. It was created by Christians. The whole having gargoyles and things like they're on churches with the idea that they protected the church from evil energy. I normally don't get this irritated with shit, but this hits a little too close to home because as a goth growing up, I was always given shit by older people saying that I was evil and that I was going to go to hell and this and that just because I dressed differently. And as an adult, I refuse to dress like a normie because I like how I dress. I like wearing Killstar and Janko and Trip and stuff like that and band shirts. I enjoy the stuff. I like heavy metal. They are things that people like. And just because someone has tattoos, just because someone dresses in black, does not mean that they are in the occult. Do a lot of people in the occult dress that way? Yes, especially people on the left-hand path. But generally speaking, people that are in kind of like the general paganism spheres and stuff like that, there's more of like a hippie kind of vibe happening with the way that those people dress than there is anything else dealing with like dark. And this gets a lot better.
Continue to have your entire house decorated like Count Dracula, it becomes a little suspicious on whether or not you're actually continuing your life path in what you're.
So, based on your religion, you have to look a certain way. You have to look and act a certain way based off of your religion. Right? Because I know plenty of people that are Satanists, like theistic Satanists, that live in super minimalistic housing. Like super minimalistic, super clean, clean lines, clean colors. And you would never guess that they're theistic Satanists, but they are. You don't judge a book by its cover.
Also saying. What she says is not in alignment with what she does. When you pay attention to Kat's posts on the internet, you will see what I'm talking about the more we go through this video together, because there's a lot of things here that she will post that even made me kind of laugh. Actually, I did. I laughed out loud because it was just so ridiculous. How could anyone actually take her seriously as a Christian is beyond me. I really do not.
And there's that thing again. Right? So when I had my back and forth with this moron, her argument was because I'm a Satanist, how can anyone take me seriously? Which, first and foremost, I'm not a Satanist. I've never claimed to be a Satanist. I'm left-hand path. I'm not a Satanist. Left-hand path and Satanism, being a Satanist is left-hand path. But being on the left-hand path doesn't necessarily make you a Satanist. Right? And so I'm honestly at a loss, guys. I'm really at a fucking loss here, because the amount of hate, like I've never seen a person with so much spite and hate inside of them. Like, honestly, I really haven't.
Understand how people can actually take this woman seriously, and the more we go through it, you will know exactly what I mean. I am really glad though that she did get rid of Aleister Crowley's books, because guys, Aleister Crowley was a Satanist. He was a demonolator. He worshipped and summoned demons. Anyone who would argue that, obviously they do it all the time, but when you look it up, it's a fact. He promoted it. It was even in his books. He always told people how to work with demons, how to summon them, how to control them. The guy was off his fucking rocker. He was completely delusional, but also he was just extremely negatively vibrational. And this is why I really don't like the fact that people think that just because you're in the occult that you should start working with demons at the same time, and that's not what being a witch is about. So when it comes down to her getting rid of Aleister Crowley's books,
it's not what being a witch is about. Witch is a broad term. You do not own the word or label witch, Melinda. You are barely scraping the surface in being what you claim that you are. There are witches and magicians of many different paths and beliefs, and that is the point of the occult. The occult is uncovering hidden knowledge, and it is an expressive field for anyone and everyone to dive into where they feel comfortable diving into, whether that be working with the gods of old, working with demons, working with whatever entity or god or goddess that you want to work with. It is an open field to work through. So working with demons is part of being a witch. Every time you open your mouth, Melinda, you show how little you actually know. And you are a disgrace to the pagan and witch community. An absolute disgrace to the community. You should not be allowed to call yourself a witch. because you are the worst kind of gatekeeper. Because you use your hate and your vitriol to shut everyone down around you that doesn't fit into this small, narrow space where you think people should fit. And it doesn't work that way.
I am super happy that she did because that is super negative. So I'm really glad that she did get rid of it. I think she made the right decision psychically and energetically. There was another post that Kat made on October 3rd. She announced on her IG by sharing a post of her getting baptized, claiming she found Jesus and felt she was on the wrong path in her occult beliefs and practices. Okay, cool. That's your decision. But why do you gotta plaster it all over the internet? Now, maybe
Because it's a big life event. She's a public figure, so sharing that kind of makes sense, right? I mean, she's a major public figure, right? I mean, she's one of the most famous tattoo artists out there because of, the TV show that she was on, and obviously just the sheer talent that she's had as a tattoo artist. So being that public figure and being someone that is a, poster for goth and occult, right? Interchangeably, it would make sense that she would post something like that publicly to say, hey, I'm still this, but I'm not this. And it's a positive move, right? So if there's a big change that you make in your life and it's a big positive change and you're a public figure, wouldn't you want to share that with the rest of the world? Wouldn't you want to say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this thing, and I'm happy about it. Be happy for me. But of course, that's, not how you see it, right, Melinda? What do you think?
maybe she decided that she wanted to share this experience with her fans, with the audience, with the world, because she feels like it will help people to stop saying negative things about her, saying things that maybe she didn't like, whether if they
I can tell you right now, Kat Von D probably got a lot more negativity from her fan base for converting to Christianity than she ever would have staying as an occultist. So being open about that change, there's a high likelihood that a lot of people that were originally on her fan base, because of the fact that she was a known occultist, started giving her a lot of shit for that change. She's probably getting a lot more shit for becoming Christian than she ever would have for being an occultist.
they were accusing her of being a Satanist or a demonolator or a witch or whatever, she obviously was down something around that path. But does
She was obviously down around something that path. What evidence do you have that she was working with demons? And what is the problem with working with demons? I work with demons. Many of us in the community, we work with demons. We understand that the term demon comes from the ancient, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to repeat this, but the term demon comes from the ancient Greek daemon. I got into a fight with somebody in the comments of one of my videos about that, where the person said that, oh, well, I asked a Greek person, what daemon meant, and it was just a demon. So the meaning didn't change when we turned it into demon. It's like, no, it did. It was just a guiding spirit. And so I literally had to go to Wikipedia, grab the explanation of what it meant in Greek, and show it to the person, and then they never answered back. So demon is a perversion of the ancient Greek term, which only means a guiding spirit. That's all it means. The Abrahamic Judeo-Christian definition of demon is a perversion of the word. It does not inherently mean an evil spirit. It doesn't. Can they be? Yes, but there's no differential. They can be mischievous, they can be malignant, and they can be benevolent. It really depends on who you're reaching out to. And we have a good understanding of who's benevolent and who's malevolent and who's causing mischief. If we look at, for example, Zozo Pazozo, Yeah, Pazuzu, sorry. Zozo or Pazuzu. Those are, to a level malevolent and mischievous, right? When you work with them. I mean, just ask Scarlet Bales or Nate Bales. I mean, they had a fucking run in with one of them, I think it was Pazuzu, they had a run in with, which wasn't necessarily, from the story that I was told, it wasn't necessarily malignant per se, malevolent. It wasn't a bad thing, but it was definitely a pain in the ass. A demon is not inherently evil. It is a perversion. The Abrahamic Judeo-Christian definition of demon is a perversion of what the word is actually means.
This getting baptized suddenly change that or change that look? And to me personally, in my view of looking at this, no, it doesn't change this at all, because your actions, sweetheart, does not match those vibrations, because your actions do not match what you say.
Melinda, not everyone wants to look like you, like a walking piece of plastic in that god-awful floral dress top, whatever the hell it is that you're wearing, and look like they have 16 pounds of makeup on their face. Not everyone wants to run around with blonde hair. That's the beauty of humanity. We make our own decisions and we look different. We dress different. We all have different interests and likes. My stepfather, my father, was a devoted Catholic, but he loved Lord of the Rings and dragons and mythical creatures. And our house, when I grew up, we were full of that type of imagery. I was surrounded by imageries of fantasy. From The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and things like that. I was surrounded by it and fascinated by it. And I loved the stories and the movies and the books, and I grew up with them. And he was a devoted Catholic. If we could have lived in a Gothic castle, I'm sure we probably would have if we could have afforded it when I was a kid. Which again, that Gothic, Christian Gothic churches, Gothic architecture, right? It's Christian. It was created by them. You nitwit.
You get yourself baptized, you post it all over your IG, then you are also posting this? Please make this make sense. On October 17th, she then
doesn't need to make sense to you. Kat Von D is an artist. Art is separate. Doesn't necessarily need to be, like your religion does not necessarily need to be incorporated into your art. Your art is a completely separate element from that. And having somewhat Gothic imagery and, some promiscuous, activity in a video doesn't immediately, require her to turn in her Christian card.
post on her IG her new single announcement, Vampire Love, while dressed like a skeleton, and one of her bandmates.
And do you know how many Christian metal bands there are, Melinda? Do you know how many Christian metal bands that are really fucking heavy? Like really heavy bands. Right? With crazy song names. But they're full on Christian bands. And they're great artists. I don't give a shit that I listen to them. I don't care that they're Christian. They make good music.
Twirling on a stripper pole. She became a Christian, and then this? Explain to me how this is Christian. How is this anywhere near?
Why does her art have to be fit into the narrow space of what is considered morally correct inside of Christianity? Why? Like, explain that to me. Why does the art need to fit into that narrow space? Your Christianity, your Christian, we're not in the fucking 50s anymore, right? It's not the 50s, it's not the 20s, it's not the 30s. Your Christian belief and your fashion sense and your interests and your likes do not need to align with your religion. Your relationship with your God, whatever God it may be, does not, the rest of your life does not need to align with that. Or doesn't need to visually, optically align with that, which is probably better saying it, because you might offend somebody. Melinda, you making this video says more about you than it does about Kat Von D, and it doesn't look good for you, Melinda.
Near what Jesus wanted. Is this what Jesus told you to do? Is this what Jesus wanted you to do? I'm sorry. I really
You're not funny.
got to go there because I don't think Jesus wanted you to get down and dirty on a stripper pole. I don't think that's what he wanted you to do. And I don't think that he would want you to promote this type of activity.
No, but Jesus did say, let he who be without sin cast the first stone. And Melinda, I mean, you're throwing stones in a glass house. Like, you are a sad, sad individual.
Or this kind of sexual promiscuity, or more importantly, this type of energy. When we look at this and we look at these comparisons of these two, what do you get from this? When I see her getting baptized, this is just her mocking, trying to save face, trying to get.
Save face for what? For what? For what? I guarantee you she got a lot of shit for converting. It didn't save her from anything in the public eye. I guarantee you, I will bet you money. I will bet my entire bank account that Kat Von D got more hate for converting to Christianity than she ever would have from the Christian community staying pagan.
Get people trying to follow a trend to like her. So that.
What trend? What trend? What trend do you see if with people? It's a trend now that people are converting to Christianity? That's a trend? I'm sorry. Can somebody fill me in? Is that a trend now? People becoming Christians? Right? Is that trendy? Last time I checked, it wasn't.
That way she can continue doing what she's doing, and so people won't judge her. And this is actually preposterous.
No, people are going to judge her more. Becoming Christian opens her up for a bunch of shit. What you're doing, what you are doing right now in this video, judging the shit out of this woman, is exactly what everyone else is going to do. Becoming Christian doesn't save her from that, especially doing it publicly. If she would have just publicly stayed in everybody's thoughts as a pagan, as a witch, as an occultist, nobody would give a shit. Nobody would fucking care. But obviously, it's a big enough thing for you to make a fucking video about it. So where do you get off saying that she became a Christian to kind of save herself from, hate and shit like that?
Preposterous, because a lot of people on the comment section have been saying over and over, oh, well, we can't judge her because this is not something that happens.
Okay, if you're a Christian, you shouldn't be judging at all, right? Because your own doctrine as a Christian, right, says that the only entity that can pass judgment on anyone is God himself. Not even Jesus can pass judgment. Only God himself can pass judgment on anyone. So the statement of saying, well, we can't pass judgment. No, you can't. No, you can't. By your own doctrine, you can't. one person's process in becoming a Christian is not going to be the same process for everybody coming out of whatever that they're coming out of. And then the amount of hate that people are throwing out there just to have views, it's really irritating. It's really irritating. I'm not Christian. I'm not defending Christianity. Those of you that know me and are part of this community, have been in this community forever, know that I don't have a problem with the Christian. I don't have a problem with the Catholic. But the organization, I absolutely, unequivocally loathe with an unholy passion. The individual inside of the organization isn't necessarily representative of the organization itself. And it's something that has taken me a very long time to come to terms with on that. But I despise the organization. I will never, ever, ever become Christian, Catholic, anything like that. I am who I am, and I am proud of who I am. But a person's decision to leave the occult is their decision. And if they go to Christianity and they get baptized as a Christian, and it is something that is fulfilling to them, is their business. And their fashion preferences and their music preferences and their artistic preferences hold no bearing on their faith. And we know this because it would be the same thing as sitting there and saying that heavy metal music is the reason why there's violence in schools. Violent video games is the reason why there's violence in schools. That witchcraft and Satanism is the reason why there's violence in schools or violence in the world. It's the same thing. So a person's preference musically, in fashion, in art, holds no bearing on their spiritual belief. And again, I know this because I grew up around it. My father was a dedicated Catholic. And I was surrounded by images of fantasy and dragons and things like that my entire life. So this video is just pure vitriol and hatred. And it's clickbait. Doing a video, she did a video on Tom McDonald. The reason why she did a video on Tom McDonald is because she noticed that every time you put Tom McDonald's name in a fucking video, it blows up. So she's like, all right, I'm going to judge the shit out of Tom McDonald. Now, what's the next big thing? Kat Von D. Right? Kat Von D's a big name. Throw her name on a video, get a lot of views, get a lot of clicks. Right? That's why this is being done.
Overnight. She can't just suddenly change her whole life. This is a slow process. This is what Jesus and God is having with her in her own relationship. And I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute. These Christians are going to give an excuse to this new Christian of all the shit that she's doing now. You're going to give excuse after excuse after excuse, but because she's saved, it's okay. But when she wasn't saved, it was totally inexcusable. It was judgmental. It was bad. It was dirty. It was raunchy. It was heresy. It was a sin. But then because now she's got baptized, she can continue on doing her sinful routines, and this is now okay. Because God has her. It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. After she decided to come out and say that she's now a Christian, she got baptized, but then she's coming out with this vampire love song, which I thought, okay, that's a little weird. Don't get me wrong, the song is pretty good, but
Don't get me wrong, the song is pretty good, but I'm going to bash the shit out of it because, you know, liking it doesn't fit the narrative, right? I've got to hate on everything, right? Oh my God.
Still thought that was strange. And then we end up seeing that she posts about how instead of getting her tattoo removed, which I understand is painful, I get that, but instead you're just going to tattoo your entire body black. Hold the phone. Why would you decide to do that?
A lot of people do that, and actually, you can actually tattoo over black, right? I've seen it done. People get blackout tattoos, and then they get new ink on top of the blackout, right? And you get kind of like this double tone kind of look, right? I'm not 100% certain in how it looks, but I mean, she's a tattoo artist, right? So it would make more sense that she would want to be around people that she's comfortable with in a place where she's comfortable instead of like a doctor's office with a laser. And that is a lot of laser work to do to get those things removed because a laser is very precise. So it makes more sense to get it covered up if you want to cover it up if they're occult based, if you're not into that anymore, because it's faster, overall less painful, and can be tattooed over again in a really cool way once it's healed. But, you know, of course, Melinda completely avoids like any logic like that, right? Melinda, what do you think? Why do you think that she tattooed everything black?
She likes black. We get that. She likes these colors. She likes black and red. She likes death, obviously. I mean, come on, the whole Victorian.
She likes death. I mean, death has been a fascination of humanity forever. I mean, Christianity, its entire focus is death, right? Death, you talk about death like it's a bad thing. Death is a normal process in life. It's a part of life. You live and you die. Everyone is going to die. Everyone in everything that breathes air on this planet is going to die. There is no reason to be afraid of death. Death is just a natural part of it. It's something that is inevitably going to come, and it is because of that finite understanding that we are not going to be around here forever that makes life so precious. So to say that she likes death, it's a bit off color, don't you think?
Thing, it's a little overdone. And when you look at her tattoo, you have to ask yourself, was she inspired by demonic energies to do
Yep, of course, everybody's possessed, right? Everybody's possessed with Melinda, inspired by demonic entities.
this to her permanent change of her body? Demons actually have black skin. There are a lot of demons.
Yeah, I saw that one coming. I saw that one. Demons have black skin. No, they don't. They don't have skin. They're ethereal. They don't have physical form. They can produce physical form, but they don't necessarily have physical form. So, they have black skin? I mean, it's like you reach, like she sees shit, like she spends her time figuring out how can I spin this, right? How can I make people freak out about this, right? How can I cause panic and chaos inside of this thing that shouldn't have panic or chaos?
Demons that do not have the skin color like us. They are full black, completely black from head to toe. And when I say black, I'm not referring to like similar to like black people's skin, like African Americans' black skin. I'm talking jet black. And so demonic energies can either be black or red. There are even some that are flat white, like super white. And
She watches way too many movies. She watches way too many movies because the flat white thing, that's a giveaway. I can't remember the movie, but I do remember seeing a movie where there was like supposedly like some type of demonic entity, and it was like the skin was kind of like a matte white, right? She watches way too many movies, and this is one of the big giveaways. If you ever really want to know how full of shit Melinda is, right? Start watching movies like Paranormal Activity or the Amityville Horror, anything to do with that couple, like the fucking doll that had the demon supposedly attached to it, whatever, right? Anything like that. Watch those movies. Read those books about that couple. I can't remember their fucking name for the life of me. They're not, to me, they're not that fucking important because, I mean, they've been proven frauds so many times, right? But watch those movies, read those books, and then listen to what she talks about. And you're like, oh, shit. She straight up plagiarizes these books and these movies and incorporates it into her own belief system. But the problem here is she doesn't sit there and read, like, you know, the black arts or the complete book of black magic and witchcraft or the psychic witch or Celtic magic or anything like that, or anything by Scott Cunningham for Wicca and stuff like that. None of the stuff that actually, like, you know, is to learn about witchcraft. Everything that she's educated on is fiction, is a fictional story created for entertainment. Because when you really get into, like, her content, when I first started reacting to her, witches were evil. All witches were evil. She was one of those people that said all witches were evil. And now she's a witch. Which, she's a witch that the only thing she does is talk shit about other people. She doesn't provide anything constructive or educational to the community. She goes in and she tears down other people and says, this person is this. And the problem here is, one of the biggest issues with this type of content is what it breeds inside of people to be judgmental and potentially violent towards people that look different. So when I first started reacting to her videos, the potentiality for violence was directed towards people of the occult community because of all the shit that she was spewing and saying that was, if you picked up any book other than her shit, it's verifiably untrue. Anyone that I've come across that has read her books has told me that they're absolute shit, make no sense whatsoever, and is completely convoluted. I personally have never read any of her books. I will not give her my money. Somebody wants to send me a PDF copy, I'll give it a shot. But I'm not giving her money. Not going to happen. So, from what I was told, everything in her books is just convoluted and just ass backwards to what the reality is, or how we understand, you know, the reality of the occult to this point. Right? It's movie magic, to put it a certain way. And so when I first started reacting, that's what it was about. It was about, you know, protecting the community from somebody spreading hate and misinformation about people in the left-hand path, you know, and sitting there saying that everyone that disagrees with her is a Satanist or whatever. And now it's the same thing, but now we're talking about physical appearance. That because somebody dresses in black or looks a certain way or has certain interests, they are still in the occult, or they are a Satanist, or they are evil. Right? I mean, she got on Tom McDonald because Tom McDonald was wearing some Blackcraft cult merch. With the Blackcraft cult merch, obviously there's a lot of pentagrams on it, right? So this idiot does such little research on shit. Tom McDonald used to wrestle. Blackcraft cult supports, like, amateur wrestling, like, in a big way, right? So I wouldn't doubt if there was a connection between Tom McDonald and Blackcraft cult in between with the wrestling. That's where that comes from. But she's so half-assed with her research when she does a video. She just throws her immediate opinions based off of a picture and doesn't do the research. And most of the people that follow her do the same fucking thing, which is sad. Take 10 damn minutes out of your life and do a little bit of research. Now, I can't say for certain that there's a wrestling connection between Tom McDonald and Blackcraft Cult, but it makes a lot of sense to me. There'll be one of the reasons of why he would support the company, because he wears a lot of Blackcraft Cult merch, or at least he did, at least with the pictures that I've seen, right? He's not an all-the-time thing, but I've seen it, you know, and I don't see anything wrong with it, because Blackcraft Cult, though they have a support on the atheistic aspect of Satanism to the sense of be your own God, blaze your own trail, right? Create your own opportunities, right? So let's just keep going.
Thing about it is when you encounter these types of energies and you look at them for what they are, you cannot help but after a while wonder, could Kat have been influenced by these demonic spirits to make these public changes and then these permanent changes to her body? The devil lies all the time. I'm not implying in any way that
The devil lies all the time. So here's a big thing. Melinda, one of the biggest premises of being a witch is that inside of witchcraft, we generally denounce the existence of the Christian ideology of Satan and the devil. So, how can you be a witch and still maintain this idea of this one centralized force of evil? Because the one thing that inside of witchcraft, the occult, most branches, except for recently with Christian witches, with most branches and extensions and sub-aspects of witchcraft and paganism, left-hand path and right-hand path, the general consensus across the fucking board is that evil is perpetrated by man. That nature in and of itself, on the natural path of witchcraft, the natural understanding of where Gardenian witchcraft comes from, the basis, the resurrection of Wicca in modern day witchcraft from Gerald Gardner, is that human beings are the perpetrators of evil, that nature in and of itself does not have a single centralized, focused aspect of evil. That evil is not something that is hinted at from an external source, but rather comes from within. That is a general overlapping agreement across most paths in the craft. So, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I think, and see, here's the thing, this is the difference. She does this, she says, this is my opinion, and then talks absolute fact. I'm saying, I think. You saying you're a witch is a front. Could be wrong. But you've shown nothing that shows that you're a witch of any kind outside of using the term. And I think that there should be some kind of standard when we say we're witches. Like, I understand that there are some people that can't practice in their homes because of their family and things like that. I get that. Like, I completely get that. And ritual and the first altar that you ever create needs to be in your mind anyway, regardless of what your situation is and what your circumstances are. That's where your first thought needs to go. Like, your first altar needs to be created in your mind, and then that gets externalized when you have the opportunity to do so. And then from that, you begin to kind of create, right, kind of like your path in front of you. I have seen nothing from you, Melinda, that supports your claim that you're a witch. So I ask you, Melinda, which I'm sure you'll probably see this video, I ask you directly, support your claim that you're a witch. Support it. You don't have to prove that you're a witch. Support it with something. I'm not asking for proof that you're a witch. Support it with something. Because you say you're a witch. Support it with something out there. Because everything you're saying is a contradiction. Just like you're saying that Kat Von D and the way that she looks is a contradiction to what she says she is. What you are saying is a contradiction to what you are saying. Like, your words contradict each other. And then if we look at your actual actions, there's no action to support anything that says that you're a witch. At least from what I can see. Maybe I'm wrong. That's my opinion. But support it.
That she's a danger to anyone or to herself, or that she's not a good person. However, what I am saying here is that it is questionable the type of psychological or psychic influence that she is receiving to make these public changes and then these permanent changes on her arm. It's strange. I find this very telling. I find this very.
It's not strange. All you need is a modicum of logic, and it would make sense. But you don't want logic, Melinda. You just want to tear people apart.
Strange. I find this very weird, and it's a red flag to me. It's a big red flag.
Melinda, everything's a red flag to you. Everything is a red flag to you. Everything.
To me, I find it ironic that she's complaining about how painful it would be, but yet instead you're just going to go ahead and tattoo your entire body black. And
when you're used to getting tattoos, it's a pain that is very tolerable. So you can't talk about something that you don't know, Melinda, because from the looks of it, it doesn't look like you have any tattoos. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't look like you have any tattoos. I have 5. I've got this one right here. This one was not painful at all. What was painful was needing to sit like this for 4 hours while that got done. So my arm was straight. That was the part that irritated me, like my muscle in my shoulder. But the ink itself, not a problem. Got the ink on the back of my calf, like when I got my pentagram with the tribal sun, and I fell asleep during that one. I got the Slipknot logo on the side of my other calf. Practically fell asleep for that one. So when you're used to a tattoo needle going into you, is it painful? Yes, but I'm going to assume here not nearly as painful as having a laser burn your skin multiple times in one area to remove a tattoo, because these lasers, it's not a one simple pass, Melinda. It is multiple hits in one spot in order to break up the ink and then lift it out. And then the amount of tattoos that she had covered up, we are talking years of laser treatment to get them removed. And regardless of her becoming Christian or not, she left the occult, not the tattoo subculture. She's still a tattoo artist. Most of her career is thankful to her being a very good tattoo artist. So, again, talking about things that you've barely researched.
And the funny part about that is that's going to fade and it's going to look gray. It's not going to look full black. Those tattoos fade after a while. They don't stay full black. You have to get them refinished. You have to get them redone. And that's also based on preference. But is that what she's going to want to be when she's like 80 years old? It's like some black, like full jet black demon like grandma? Is that what she wants? What do you think about that? Let me know that in the comment section below. Here's the other red flag that I also noticed is after she intentionally decided to transform her whole life, transform herself, and do all these permanent changes, what I did find very interesting that I pay very close attention to is Kat did not tattoo over these specific tattoos on her left hand. And what I noticed was she kept visible, she didn't cover up, the left hand, which have a pentagram and a third eye on her left hand. Why would she keep those visible out of all the tattoos? Why?
That's not a pentagram. That's a heartogram, you idiot. And it's from the band Him. And it looks like she has them on both fingers. That's not a pentagram. It's a heartogram. You fool.
Those. A Christian who is determined after being fully transformed and finding Jesus would have to get rid of those symbolisms that endorse and depict
Why?
and support
Why?
the left-hand path, which is basically what she had those tattoos for. Why specifically on the left hand unless she was doing left-hand shit? She deliberately decided to keep those visible. Why would she do that?
Again,
when you are
left
saying that you're
hand
a Christian,
shit. Left hand shit. Again, she's showing how little she actually knows. And this is the thing. This is why I keep making these videos. Is because it is so perpetual that every single video she continues to show that she knows nothing about what she's talking about. You can tell that she has done zero research into what the left-hand path is. The left-hand path is simply understanding that you are responsible for yourself, that you are accountable for your actions, that you do not need a god, a deity, or a demon to achieve anything in your life. It is accountability to the highest level, the philosophy of the left-hand path. So you say left-hand shit. So you're probably one of those idiots that smacks the shit out of their kid if they write with their left hand, aren't you? Because I suffered that when I was in school. I went to a Christian school when I was a kid because that's what my stepfather wanted. He wanted me to go to a Christian school or a Catholic school because he was Catholic. And I used to get smacked on my hand with a ruler when I would write with my left hand because I'm left-handed. And they would force me to use my right hand. Obviously, my mother removed me from that school when she was aware that that was happening. But that was something that was still happening when I was in grade school, when I was like 4, 5, or 6. That was something that was still happening. And so when I got removed from the Catholic school, I got put into public school where that was no longer they no longer did that. So, Melinda, again, you are showing that you don't understand anything that you're talking about.
Christian, but you're keeping these visuals on your body. Explain that to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. And that's why I don't believe she's a full Christian. That's why I think it's a joke. I think it's a gimmick. I think it's a lie. And I think she's doing it to get people to follow her so she can start trending and so people can start believing in her BS. I don't think it's true at all. So not only is her tattoos and her way of, symbolisms getting pretty obvious at this point, there's another thing that's very, very telling to me, and I want you to pay close attention to this clip. Clip after clip after clip after clip, video after video of her son. He's adorable, by the way, but her son is wearing what? What is he always wearing? Christian cat, what is he wearing? No. Yeah, he's still wearing satanic clothing line, no. Why would he still be wearing that, Mom? Why is he wearing that? Is it because...
Satanic clothing line? Those are just stars. And also, here's another thing: is like we can't be 100% certain on like when these videos were taken or anything like that. And I'm not sure. I don't know if she said the clothing line. I didn't hear it, but those are just stars on a shirt. And so this is a new low too. This is a new low. How dare you bring somebody's kids into it? You manipulative, conniving bitch. How dare you bring someone's children into your videos? It is someone's prerogative to post their children online because they're proud of their children, they love their children. How dare you? How dare you bring a person's child into their video? How would you feel if somebody brought your kid into a video about you? How would you feel? This is, to me, this is once you cross that line, it's one thing to talk about someone, it's another thing to bring their kids into it. It's another thing to bring their kids into it. You don't bring someone's kids into shit. A kid has nothing to do with it. You should remove this video on principle alone.
You don't want to get rid of those clothes? Is it because maybe it's too expensive and she doesn't want to get rid of those clothes? It's very telling when you observe very closely. And when I watched one of this clip when he was running to his grandma, which was so cute, but when I watched as he was running to her, I'm assuming it was his grandma, his clothes shouted out to me right off the bat. And I went, whoa. And I had to replay it, pause it, and look. And I could see as he would like hold up his, like hug his grandma, you could see on his pant line, it says new right on his pant line. And I recognized it from the patterns and the clothing and the color. Very boring clothes. But yet, why do Satanists like these kinds of clothes? It's because of what it represents. New is a satanic clothing line catered towards children. But when you are pushing Satanism on your child by allowing them and enforcing them, putting them in satanic clothes, that's a red flag to me. Why would a Christian, a newly baptized mom, have her son walk around in satanic clothes? Explain that to me. But here's the thing, too. I don't want to hear this nonsense of, oh, maybe she just forgot. No, that bitch didn't forget because he's in them in almost every single image, in almost every picture, in almost every video, in almost everywhere he goes. It's almost like he doesn't own any other fucking piece of clothing. But it's also very possible she gets sponsored by wearing those clothes.
I literally just looked up new, and I don't see anything satanic about it. I really don't see anything satanic about new. I mean, this is on Nordstrom, right? And I don't see anything satanic about it. I see cat images. I see stars. A pair of shorts with a skull on it. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything inherently satanic about the clothing line. So, again, I don't know where she's getting her information, why it's satanic, but I don't buy it.
Clothes and they pay her, and as long as he keeps wearing them, they pay her a check because maybe it's possible that she's being sponsored by new. And she's being endorsed as long as she keeps promoting those outfits. Is it possible? It's very possible. Do I doubt that? No. I firmly believe it's very highly likely that that's possible. And I find that strange, and I find that hypocritical, and I find it ridiculous. Kat Von D, coming out as a Christian, should know by now that endorsing your son to wear Satanism is not a Christian thing to do. And this...
Again, stop bringing somebody's kids into it. I just looked up new, or whatever the hell it is. And I don't see anything inherently satanic about the clothing line. So this is a new low, honestly. I didn't think that because she apparently has her own kids, her own kid, I would have assumed this would have been a line that she doesn't cross of bringing somebody's children into it. This is disgusting to me, honestly.
This is a person who used to be a Christian.
And also, if you guys are noticing, obviously in recording this, the images aren't blurred, but I'm blurring them in post because I don't want to have somebody else's kids on my video. But it's part of the reaction.
This is something a lot of people missed. A lot of people don't know it. A lot of people have missed this red flag, and I think it's important it comes out. So anyone who's a fan of Kat Von D, just so you know, this is a reality, and she's lying to you. She is lying to her public. This is what she's doing. This is what she's promoting. This is a reality.
She's not promoting anything. She's showing her own growth and her own path in her own life. Wow, Melinda. Like, you're just a disgusting human being. You really are.
Don't believe the bullshit that she's telling you. It's a lie. Then there was another post on December 5th. She posts questionable pictures of herself posing on a red...
Questionable. Again, it's fashion, it's preference, it looks cool, you know.
Background wearing full black. More suspicious is her shoes are pointed,
More suspicious her shoes are pointed. Do you know how stupid you sound? Like, really?
giving witchy vibes. Why would anyone
Witchy vibes. And it's cool to see the crossover, isn't it? It's a good thing, right? We've dealt with persecution, discrimination, and just violence and hatred for years in the goth community from right-wing Christians trying to tell us that we're going to burn in hell and that we're horrible people because we dress differently without even knowing who we are as people. And so for her to kind of convert over to Christianity and still kind of maintain that fashion and music and stuff like that, it's a plus.
decide to wear these kinds of outfits if you are no longer a witch anymore, you're no longer into the occult, but you're still wearing and endorsing these
Why does the clothing have anything to do with the spirituality? It has nothing to do with it. The occult is a spiritual belief. Fashion is something completely different. And in the modern era, in 2024, it's no longer connected. Like it used to be, there used to be some level of connection back in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe even the early 2000s. But I mean, that's gotten all stripped away since, I mean, people wear band shirts without even knowing what the fuck the band is just because they like the design. That outfit doesn't mean she's still a witch. It's just a cool goth outfit. And that's it. Would you want her to dump her entire life just so you can be happy? Who gives a shit what you think?
these kinds of outfits. That doesn't make any sense. And a lot of people forget the term, a picture says 1,000 words. And I think this one should say a lot. I don't know about you, but if I were to take pictures, I would want them to represent who I am and, more importantly, the brand that I support if I do have to promote one or if I'm getting.
Your spirituality is not a brand, Melinda. Jesus is not a brand. Christianity is not a brand. It's a religion. This is ridiculous.
Paid or being endorsed, whatever that is, sponsorship. So it's a personal, deliberate intention decision. Don't think for a second she wasn't fully aware of the symbolism of this picture. But there's a lot more to this that people don't know, that needs to be exposed, that a lot of people miss, and this is something that I really want to highlight here. Folks are defending her decision, saying she can wear whatever she wants, but the more you investigate her.
Yeah, she can wear whatever the fuck she wants. The clothing has nothing to do. All right, you know what, guys? I feel like I'm repeating myself. I was trying to wait until the ending part where they show kind of like, I guess it's her bathroom, which is all red and kind of gothed out and shit. I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I've never given you guys a full reaction to Melinda stuff because I can't do it. I physically am incapable of sitting here for an entire video. You guys get the idea. You guys get the premise. The whole point of this whole thing is because the hatred that she's spreading about this shit, like, it's touching into other communities now. Now it's not just, you know, occultism and paganism and stuff like that and witchcraft and Satanism and all that stuff in the left-hand path. Now it's the fashion. Now it's, you know, stuff that, you know, has nothing to do with spirituality. Like, you can have an overlap. You can very intentionally have an overlap if you choose to, right? But it doesn't have to overlap. Just because you want to dress goth, if you're Christian and if you want to dress goth and you like goth music, that doesn't make you evil. Goth clothing doesn't make you a Satanist. Okay, being a Satanist makes you a Satanist. Being a witch makes you a witch. Practicing witchcraft makes you a witch. right? How that looks to you is different for everybody. But if you're a Christian and you like the goth aesthetic, fucking go for it. Like, I think it's awesome. I think it's great that level of ground can, kind of cross over. That the music and the fashion and something that has been, so beautiful and so welcoming, since I was a kid, to have that kind of crossover is extremely important. It's extremely important. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I can't believe I did an hour and 10 minutes of this. I can't believe it. But I needed to get it out. It's the second video of hers that I've seen like this where she's attacking fashion. The first one was Tom McDonald. And I just kind of left that one alone. And then I saw this one. I was like, okay, this is becoming a pattern where she's attacking the way people look. If you guys can't tell, Melinda is a horrible person. She's not a good person at all. She is the type of person, and she has shown this in her videos multiple times. Like, this isn't just my opinion. This is just like her as a person. She's the type of person who will smile to your face and stab you in the back the first chances she gets, for her benefit. The things that she does is clout chasing and clickbait, just to get people to watch, and it's working, sadly. Her subscriptions and viewer counts keep going up, and she is a plague on the magical community. She really is. And I try not to do too many Melinda videos, but it's hard not to when you've got this type of stuff floating out there. Right? And of everyone that I've reacted to when it comes to this type of stuff, she's the worst. She's the worst one. Right? So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike it if you dislike it. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. And as always, hail thy fucking self. Peace the fuck out, everybody.